Back at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena, it is time for Coach's Comments being brought to you by Southside Auto Tech. I'm Joel Norman, and we're joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo, after the Stars' 5-1 victory here tonight. Rocky, obvious huge returns from some guys jumping back into the lineup, and they cashed in immediately. It felt like the power play in general looked really strong. We said it a little bit before the game, but now you got a chance to actually see it again tonight. How nice was it to have some of these guys who were missing from the lineup back in there tonight?
Oh, I mean, it's a huge bump for our locker room. And not only did they play really well, and we're talking about Raph, we're talking about Tanner and Doug, but when some of that pressure comes off some of the other guys, a Messick, a Mangan, right? Keaton Peters, all three of those guys had goals tonight, right? They don't have to feel the pressure and the weight of carrying the team. And those other guys take they take the ice against the top pair away and, give them some more opportunity against the bottom six, and they end up having more success. So, it goes deeper than just having those guys back. But obviously they're difference makers on the ice, but they're difference makers on the bench and in the locker room. And the vibe was just different on the bench today than it's been in, over a month now.
Probably nice of the holiday break as well, but you get some guys back as well. It obviously had immediate dividends here tonight. Rocky, it felt like every line was so even tonight. What was the key to that? It didn't seem like anything really changed momentum-wise, regardless of who was on the ice.
I really liked the way that we were able to balance our lines tonight, and I spent a lot of time over the break when my kids were napping thinking about what it was going to be like to have the majority of our team back again, and how I wanted to space it out so that we were able to have offensive creativity every shift, but also have four lines that we could trust in the D zone. And I mean, Omaha's a good team. They got their chances today, and they got some extended offensive possession. We were able to hold on, and we did some of it to ourselves. We turned some pucks over at the blue line in our own end that led to them getting some chances. But when we needed him, Whitey was excellent in the net.
He was great tonight, only allowed the one goal, 35 saves he's officially credited with in this one. So that's now if I'm remembering right, I think that's the fourth time this season now he's made at least 35 saves in a game. So really nice to have that from him. He was kind of fighting through it. Looked like he was banged up early in that second period. What was going on with him?
No, he just got a cramp. He got a cramp, and he ended up making a huge save with a cramp. And then we were able to kind of get him moving again, and he shook that off. But I think that's a product of, these guys have been away from their routine for 8 days, and then we jump right back into it, and we don't have time to ease them back in. We had to jump in with both feet right away, and so that's going to happen a little bit. But I thought Whitey was outstanding today. He made some really big saves for us. He looked calm in the net. He looked really composed, and we're obviously really confident with him back there.
We talked about it a couple of times, but this team obviously didn't look rusty. And with a holiday break and having some time off, what was your message about, like you said, how do you stay prepared in a situation like this where your legs kind of haven't had this kind of workout in a little bit?
You know what, for us, I thought we had a really good week of practice, and we talked about what we wanted this second half of the year to look like. And obviously we have expectations in the room and how we want to play, and we always talk about our process and doing things the right way all the time. And the first 5 minutes of the second period was a perfect example. We literally talked about how important those first 5 minutes were, and then we went out and laid an egg right away. So, for us, we're still learning. And that's the thing when it comes to junior hockey. You want your team to continue to get better. You know that they're going to make mistakes. You know that there's going to be setbacks. But if we can learn from them and get better, then we're in a good spot. And I thought we rallied after that first 5 minutes. We still didn't play a very good second period, but we scored a couple goals and were able to take a 4-goal lead into the locker room.
I imagine that message of just carrying the momentum is going to go into tomorrow, too. We saw that a few times, it felt like earlier in the month of December, where there was that one really good night and then maybe moments in the second night that cost the night. What's the message going into tomorrow with continuing the good things from tonight?
Well, December was December. I thought, when you look at the MASH unit, we were at times where we were so shorthanded and we were missing so many guys. For us to to find our way to a record above 500 in that circumstance, I thought was excellent. And so, now that we're basically back to it, with the exception of Moscow and Clavs, we've got our group here, and so, our expectation is we're going to go out, we're going to play really hard in a tough environment tomorrow. We know they'll be ready to play. They didn't play tonight. They got to sit and rest and watch us play. So. We owe them. They beat us. They beat us in that building last week, and we need to go back in there and be ready to play.
Should be exciting. It'll be the 4th straight game for Tri-City playing the Stars, 4th time in the last 5 that you guys get to face them. Rocky, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Joel.
That was the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo, joining us after tonight's 5-1 victory. Coach's comments brought to you by Southside Auto Tech.